Hey, we are live. Welcome, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome to May 20th, happy half hour. What number is this? What are we up to?
46?
46. Yep, 46.
46. For the last 46 weeks, since last June, every Thursday, we have gotten together with you for a happy half hour. In case this is your first time here, Sam, go ahead and introduce us. Go ahead and introduce us.
All right. Well, I'm Sam Shukavage, and with me, as always, is my father, David Shukavage, the president and founder of Carolina Retirement Planners. And with us always, the genius behind the scenes who makes everything happen is Amy, our director of fun.
That's right. She is the we're actually like doing this on Zoom, feeding it into Facebook. And by the way, the last 45 have been recorded, and you can go to our website at carolinaretirementplanners.com. If you go on to events, you can do happy half hour, and you can get a link to all of them on our YouTube channel. And there's some really good ones on all manners of retirement, taxes, doctors, lawyers, not to mention how to make mixed drinks at Christmas. So there's just a wealth of good stuff there. So don't forget that, you know. And Sam, on this fine and beautiful Thursday evening, with happy half hour, the idea is grab your favorite drink, whatever that may be, and sit down for half an hour of fun. What are you drinking tonight, Sam? What's your drink?
Well, I go back and forth. Oftentimes I'll drink a sparkling water or a tea or something non-alcoholic. But today, with our topic being what it is, I had to grab a beer, but not any beer. For those of you, I believe we may have posted it on our page, but my husband is one of the brewers at Waterline Brewing, which is right underneath the Cape Fear Memorial Bridge. And they make really cool beers. They have a great setting. They have a wonderful, outside area, lots of patio tables.
Music, food trucks.
Music, food trucks. We actually went out the other day, and the reason we went out is because they made for the first time, they call it, oh gosh, it's back. It probably, I don't know if it looks backwards to you, the Neil IPA. They named a beer after him. We affectionately refer to it as the Neilpa, but, and they actually just brewed their second batch of this yesterday.
Just from the father's aspect, to have a son-in-law who has a degree in fermentation science and brews beer for a living, it doesn't get much better than that, He can fix cars too. I mean, it's just, that's really cool. I'm drinking my normal herbal tea. Honestly, it looks like something else, but it is herbal tea. However, there is a Manhattan in my future tonight. I know we're getting together for dinner, and there's a High West double rye Manhattan going to start me up here in a couple hours. So, by the way, if you are joining us, if you would say hi in the chat, go into the chat and just say hi. We don't know you're here unless you put your name in the chat. We see already we have Bill. Bill's a good regular for us.
Hey, Bill.
Lynn is here. Welcome, Lynn. Good to see you. Amy's mother.
Teresa, hi.
Teresa. And Kathleen,
also a regular. Hey, Kathleen.
It helps her last
to know that we're not just, sometimes it feels more we're sitting here like we're shouting into the abyss. So it helps us, know that there's somebody else out there.
Yeah, tell us what you're drinking,
Yeah.
And, we also like to commemorate what day it is. And Amy, what is today? There's 2 or 3 things that are today.
Today, my favorite day or thing to talk about today is Be a Millionaire Day. I mean, who could be mad at that, right?
Okay.
There's a bunch of other days, like it's also World Bee Day, which bees are very important and pick strawberries. And
they are. Actually, our Susan, our former director of First Impressions, her husband for a while kept bees
Kept bees.
on Carolina Beach on the island. He was a beekeeper.
And it's Strawberry Day. Did you make strawberry jam?
Uh, we're gonna make strawberry jam tomorrow.
Okay.
We had a few, we worked late each night.
My wife and I, we have a cabin up sort of south of, between Raleigh and Charlotte in the Uwharrie Forest. And on the way up, we found this the biggest strawberry in the world, a little roadside stand, great strawberries right now. And so we brought some back. So I'm going to have to celebrate Strawberry Day tomorrow when I pick some up on the way back up there.
You know what's better than strawberry jam? Strawberry daiquiris.
Yeah, I'm not a necessarily.
That's true. We haven't, they picked us up a whole bunch of strawberries from that roadside place. We actually found a recipe for a strawberry simple syrup. And gosh, what was it? It was like gin and strawberry simple syrup and some kind of cucumber tonic. It looked really good, where I can't quite remember how it went, but I saved the recipe to make it later. But strawberry daiquiris.
Yeah.
It's about to be the right weather for it too.
It is. We went to Buford, South Carolina a couple weeks ago, and with Matt's family, and we picked 27 pounds, yes, pounds of fresh strawberries at one of the farms. So made some fresh daiquiris because that's a lot of strawberries.
That is crazy.
I guess. Well, yes. So we have we're going to have a really interesting offsite happy half hour next week. We'll tell you about that at the end, so you don't want to listen to that. And also remember, at the end we're going to have the wine drawing, but it's going to be really cool next week. It's going to be special.
Yeah. So Dad, what are we talking about today that's driven me to drinking?
Well, today we are going to talk about how your Social Security is taxed, how the government taxes your Social Security.
So it's it's not simple.
You know, it is convoluted and crafty, and I actually, I've taught this in classes, in workshops we've done in the last couple, 15 years. And today I actually got in and built a little spreadsheet to help simulate it. So I had a full idea of how it works. I won't say it's complicated, but it is really convoluted, and you'll see here in a minute, but it's important that you know. And so let me switch to the board and go to a different camera, and we'll see if we can launch in and explain how this works. And one other thing I want to get here. Okay, good. I'm here at the board now. So we're going to talk about how your Social Security is taxed. And your Social Security, it's like how much is added into your total income that is being taxed. It's based upon something called provisional income. And I got to kind of explain what that is. If we look at your normal tax return, there are certain things that are taxed. The most obvious are things like wages. If you're working, the money you make in wages is taxed at normal rates. If you have a pension, your pension is added into your taxable income. Maybe you've got some money in a CD or a money market and it's earning interest. Granted, probably a minuscule amount, but that's taxed. If you have dividends from stocks and things, it's taxed. And if you, rent and things like that, they're all going in, and they're all taxed at about 100% of that goes into your taxable income that your federal tax is calculated on. You also have things like tax-free bonds, municipal bonds,
Muni
they're
bonds.
usually called. And if you put money into a tax-free bond, the interest coming off that bond is not taxed. So that's not taxed at all or added to your income. Then we have Social Security. How much of that do they add into on that front page of your tax return? It turns out that they can either put in 0%, 15%, or up to, or I'm sorry, 50%, or up to 85%, and really numbers in between. And it's how they do that that gets kind of interesting. So let me go just do this over here. So we got 0, 50, 85. So to calculate your provisional income, what they do is they take 100% of the wages, pensions, interest, dividends. They take 100% of your tax-free bond money. Now, this is kind of interesting. They don't charge federal tax on this, but they use it to calculate if your Social Security is taxed. So if you were a crafty devil that said, I'm going to put all my money in municipal bonds so that income isn't taxed in retirement, you'll find that it still causes your Social Security to be taxed. And then they take 50% of what your Social Security is, and they add these three up, and this is your provisional income. Now, here's another interesting thing. You cannot find this on your tax return. If you do your own taxes on Quicken or one of those tax softwares, it doesn't show up. It's all calculated behind the scenes. If you have a tax preparer do it, you don't see it on the tax forms they give you. Now, I know that many, if not most of you on the call, can remember a time before we all had PCs when you did taxes manually, where you sat down and you had the kitchen table one night or 2 nights or a week of nights, and in April you're swearing and filling out all these blanks and calculating and moving line here to line there. And there is, if you still do that, Form 915 is used to calculate your provisional income. There are 19 steps to that form, and it's one of those forms like, if this line is bigger than this line, put in 0, or it goes on like that. So that's used to calculate. So let's say we figured out our provisional income.
Gosh, 19 steps?
19 steps. It is like,
oh man.
And
No.
it is not obvious. I actually built a little spreadsheet to help me understand exactly what the heck was going on. I'm going to try to explain it here.
I am very, that is one of the reasons I am thankful to be born when I was, is I never had to have those nights on the kitchen table.
Didn't have to have the people can.
I plug a few, I plug a few numbers into, a few years. I call it, I had an accountant when we got married and whatnot, but so far my return has been simple enough. I plug a few numbers into TurboTax and spits it out for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those were the days. So here's how it works. And it's a little different. There's one table if you're single, one table if you're married. And if you're single and your income is between your provisional income, this one over here, adding up these three things, if it's between 0 and 25,000, they do not add any of your Social Security into your taxable income. So it's just wages and pensions and things like that. If you're married, you get 0 to 32,000. Now,
wow, that's one place where it's not double. The tax brackets are normally.
It gets even better. Don't let me forget to talk about the lack of indexing on these, but by the way, Social Security wasn't always taxed. When they created it back in the 30s, you already pay tax on the money before you put it in there. It was not taxed. It was in 1983, Reagan signed a bill that went into effect in 1984, where we started taxing Social Security.
Oh, I guess dropping the tax rates from the, what was it, the 96% bracket? I
Yeah, so,
guess you gotta make up for it somewhere.
well, yeah, I mean, it was part of the tax cuts. They started taxing, oh, who knows, The, if your income's between 32 and 44 married, or 25 and 34 single, then that part between there, 50% of it is added into your taxable income. Okay. And then for anything above this amount, 85% of it is added into your taxable income. Now, here's
Dad,
where
are capital gains included in your provisional income?
capital gains are, but boy, I don't even want to go there. That's more than we want to swallow in one, let's keep it simple. So I want to just give you a little example to show how this works. Because there is a max, and we'll see why we need it. So let's say let's use a married couple just to keep it simple. Let's say they have $80,000 in pensions and dividends and things like that. And let's say they have no tax-free bonds, but they have $40,000 between them in Social Security.
Okay.
So let's figure out their provisional income. It's 80,000 plus half of 40, right? So 80 plus 20, their provisional income would be what, $100,000.
Correct.
Okay. So now we bring the 100 over here. Everything between 0 and 32 is 0. Everything between 32 and 44, that's what, $12,000? So half of 12 is $6,000. And everything from 44 to 100, what's 44 minus 100? What's that, 56,000? What's 85% of 56,000, Sam? You got a calculator?
You said 85% of 56?
Yeah.
47,600.
47,600. If we add that to 6,000, did I do that right? 56? Yeah, I guess so. 40, yeah. So that plus 6 is what, $53,600. So you would think that 56,300 is there, but that is more than what is if they're making 40,000 in Social Security, what's 85% of it? 0.85 times 4.
34,000.
34,000. So because you're above 34,000, you max out at 34. If you earned less, if this number, this 53,000 fell below 34, then you would include less than 85% of your Social Security. If that seems convoluted, it is. It's kind of like when you earn.
My head is spinning.
Yeah, what it kind of means for most people is if their wages and pensions and all that are more than about $50,000, they're 40 to 50,000, depending, they're probably going to have all their Social Security, 85% of it go into taxable income. But you see why it's convoluted. It's like, and all you can see on your thing is what your Social Security is and the taxable amount. That's on your tax return, but not this. So what can you do about, what does it mean?
Yeah. Is there anything we can do to not have that 85%? Are there any strategies?
there's probably three groups that it falls into. One group, if you've got a decent pension, if you are, retired and are blessed with a really good pension, it's probably nothing you can do because your pension will always be taxable. There's nothing you can do to hide that money, and it's going to drive your Social Security up.
Mhm.
Oh, if
But at least you got a pension. At least you got a nice pension.
at least you got a nice pension.
Yeah, there's a
If
silver lining.
If you are in this area where you don't have a lot of income, if your income is low, you're living on Social Security and maybe a little more, then you can try to have years where you keep it low. You can do things like put your savings that are generating income into tax deferred vehicles that don't show up here to keep you low and to keep your Social Security from being taxed. The third group is kind of unique, and there's actually a really interesting book called The Power of Zero.
Oh yeah, I read that on a plane.
Yeah,
I was like 2 hours just flew by.
Yeah, this is a really good read. What it says basically is, if, for instance, I don't have a pension, all my money is in IRAs and things, and I can get it all into one of the 2 or 3 places in the tax-free world that aren't subject to provisional income. Roth IRAs are one. If I can get it all in there where my income is now low enough that I can fall under this $32,000 provisional income mark, I can have a really good income without any taxes on my Social Security. So that's the third. It's a tougher to do. We have some clients that if we can get clients that are in their 50s and have IRAs, we have some where we're moving lots and lots into the tax-free world every year, and they have a crack at it, but because they don't have a pension, but it's a little complicated. One other thing about this, these limits, 32, 44, they have not gone up since 1993. Been nearly 30 years. Yeah, Social Security's gone up, wages have gone up. Back in 1993, a lot less people would pay tax on their Social Security. I mean, you earned a lot less then. This is another way the government's able to increase the taxes on us without us knowing it, by doing nothing.
That was one of the interesting things that I believe it was Ed Slott who talked about this to us and pointed out that there are other ways that the IRS can get tax dollars from us without just blatantly raising the tax brackets or, raising our taxes, that there are ways such as this that we may not realize.
This is why most people can't get out of it. Back in 93, you stood a better chance, but today it's tough. It's tough. So I hope this was useful, at least in understanding why your Social Security is taxed and seeing if there's anything you can do. Now, let me go back to the other camera. If somebody would, there we go. If someone wants to chat, if you're, with our clients, we usually we spend a lot of time on taxes and trying to minimize it. If you're here as a visitor and you're saying, boy, I'd like to chat with somebody about this, if you go to the website, carolina15.com, it's a little calendar, and you can book a 15-minute phone call with us. Just put down in the little comments, hey, I want to talk about Social Security taxes or something else you may have seen on one of our things. Just go there, book a 15-minute phone call, no cost obligation. We'll chat. It's a complicated world out there and such. So that's our little bit on taxation of Social Security. Sam, we're getting close. Well, what do we want to do, the drawing first or talk about next week? Let's talk about next week.
Yeah. So next week is very exciting for us. We decided, it's the Thursday before Memorial Day. Many of y'all might be traveling or having people come into town. It's kind of, we're ramping up for summer. And so we decided it's been about halfway through since, 6 months since we did almost 6 months since we did our last just pure fun happy half hour. And so we're going to be broadcasting, not just me, but me and David and myself are going to be broadcasting from Fermental, and we're going to be doing a summer wine tasting. So we're going to go through with the owner of Fermental, Amy, his name's Steve Gibbs, right?
Yes, you are correct.
Steve Gibbs, and we are going to be tasting through a selection of summer appropriate wines. And for those of you who do not know, in my previous life, I worked for a wine distributor. So wine is very near and dear to my heart. So I'm very excited about this.
We're going to have Gruner Veltliner.
Gruner Veltliner.
Okay, Veltliner,
I don't know.
That's my go-to summer
exactly
wine.
I don't know what we're pulling to do yet. I hope we're gonna do a few funky things. So we'll see what he picks out.
Okay.
But and the reason
you can come and watch us live and cheer in person. Fermental in Ogden, Google it. It's right on. Is it right on 17?
Yes, right off of Market Street.
So just come and join us.
Yep, it's basically kind of right by, it's on Market by the Big Lots, kind of right across from there, if you know where that is.
Okay, and I want to just say hi to a few people who have joined us since then. Got a number. Sandy Robinson, I know her. She's joined us. That's my wife, Sam's mother. Nancy is here. Liz is here.
Say hi to more than just my mom.
Hey, Liz, good to see you. Good to have you here. Talked to you the other day. And Ed, Jim, Al, Bart. Bart and his parents have been, with his friends for a while. Jeff, Ed, do they sell Hefeweizen? Do they have a Hefeweizen?
I already did text Neil, and they do sell a Hefeweizen.
Okay.
They are well known for their Kolsch. So if you do enjoy like a really nice, light, easy drinking beer.
That's low alcohol. You can drink more and still drive home. You know?
you can drink several of them.
Liz is doing strawberry margaritas.
Strawberry daiquiri. Oh, no shit. That sounds nice.
Yeah. And Bruce, Jamie, and Lynn. So welcome. Thanks for stopping by. So we'll see many of you, I hope, next week at Fermental at 4:30 on Thursday. And now it's time for to see who the lucky winner of 2 bottles from Fermental, mailed right to your door, delivered by a uniformed employee of the U.S. government. And who is the lucky person?
Yes, our lucky winner today is I feel like we just said hello to her, I think. Liz W.
Okay, Liz W.
So congratulations, Liz. You are our wine winner this week. You will be getting 2 bottles of wine shipped directly to your door from Fermental. And for those of you who did not win, and for those of you who may be saying, wait, how do I get my name in this jar for next week? You can, if you're on our page on Facebook, you can like or say that you're attending or going to our next Facebook event. For each week, you just say that you're going, and we'll automatically enter you. If you send that off to a friend, we will give you another entry. If you are on our email list, and if you're not on our email list, you can send Amy a message through Facebook or send us an email through our website. to get on there, but we send out just a few emails throughout the week to let you know what we're going to talk about this week. And you reply to those emails, let us know a future topic you'd like to cover, some questions you might have about this week's topic, or just say, enter me into the wine drawing. And you can also forward that email to a friend and let us know that you've done that, and we'll give you an additional entry. We love to give away wine. We've given away almost 100 bottles of wine now through the Happy Half Hour.
Yeah.
That's a
I'm
lot
real
of wine.
excited. Mhm. Almost 100
We like
bottles.
to keep everybody hydrated. It's important. Stay hydrated. As we get into summer, you need to, come even more often so you can get hydrated. So with that, we will see you all next week, maybe in person. And have a great week. Cheers.
Cheers.